Hello, my name is Aaliyah, and for my final project, I'm going to analyze the themes and the symbolism in Bong Joon-ho's Oscar-winning film Parasite. There are three main themes that I'll be discussing and their relevant symbols, as well as how they are portrayed in the film. The first one is class divide, which is a topic that director Bong Joon-ho is known to address in many of his films. Next, I will analyze upward mobility and how it's shown in the film with camera angle and the use of stairs. I'll also address the significance of the Scholar's Stone, which was given as a gift to the Kim family. The first symbol of class divide is seen in the first scene of the movie in the Kim family home. It's a small window which shows that the Kims live in this basement home underground and the rest of the world is above them. This in itself is a big indicator of their lower class. The way that they live below the ground level shows how poor they are. The small window is the only form of natural light they have, and light is representative of opportunity. So their small window shows that the Kims don't really have that much opportunity. In contrast, we see the Park family home, in which there is an entire wall, which is a big window. They can even see the sky in their window, which was something that was not really visible from the Kim family's home. The window in the Park home shows how much natural light they get, symbolizing their higher class because they have opportunity, clarity, and success. Another symbol of class divide in the movie is with the sense of smell. After the Kims have successfully dominated the Park family home with well-paying jobs, the younger son of the Parks notices that the Kims all smell the same. This is the smell of their basement home. The lack of windows or fresh air in their home makes them carry the same scent, which is something that the Parks notice. As the movie progresses, the smell is something that the Kims cannot wash away. When hiding under the table, the father of the Kim family hears the Parks discussing how they smell the same and that they all smell poor like the stink in the subway. The smell stays on them and does not leave, haunting them like a reminder of the reality of their social status. The first picture on the left is a window of the Park family home, and the right shows the small basement window of the Kim family home. It's worth noting that when we first see the different windows in Parasite, there is a play with the light. The bottom right image is the opening scene of the movie, and we see that despite the small window, it is a sunny and bright day. When we first see the Park family home, the window shows a lot of light and nature outside, which symbolizes their wealth and higher class and picture-perfect life. Later in the movie, however, when the Parks go on a trip and the Kims stay at the home, they sit in front of the window, staring out the big window at the dark outside. The darkness in this scene, seen in the bottom left photo, is a precedent for the dark turn that the film will take. Along the lines of the theme of social class differences, there is the theme of upward mobility as well. It's in the storyline as the Kims con the Parks into getting them all high-paying jobs at their home. From the way that the Parks go from their underground basement home upwards, literally and figuratively, to the Park family home symbolizes the way that they climb up the social ladder. The image on the right is when Kiwoo's friend tells him about the tutoring job, and it's interesting to note that in the background we see a path leading up and light at the end of the path. This is symbolic because it's like marking the start of Kiwoo's journey upward. The use of the camera angles in the film are also important because, for example, in this scene, it's facing upwards. In other words, symbolizing the way that Kiwoo will head up from this point of the movie after getting the job. We see that with the use of stairs too. The production design in the film used a lot of stairs to symbolize upward mobility. For example, since the Kims live in a basement home, they have to take the stairs to get to ground level. In other words, they climb up from their home of lower class to be in the real world. When Kiwoo goes to the Park family home for the first time, he climbs up the hill and up the stairs into their garden and home. From there, Kiwoo climbs up the stairs of the Park home to tutor their daughter upstairs in her bedroom, which is symbolic because he's at the highest point in the house. The movie takes a dark turn at the basement of the Park family home, and it's symbolic how the stairs to go to the basement are downward from the kitchen because the basement holds many secrets that are unfolded after the Kims infiltrate the Park's home. These are some pictures of stairs in the movie, looking very different for the Park home and the Kim home. The picture on the top right is the exit alleyway of the Kim home, showing the stairs that they must take to leave their home. The picture below shows the stairs in the bathroom of the Kim home as they reach up to reach Wi-Fi or access to the internet, which actually connects them to the world. Them reaching up to be in touch with the rest of the world is symbolic and representative of how low they are in society, literally because they live underground and they don't have Wi-Fi because they're poor, and the world connects through Wi-Fi at a higher level than which they live. This is a part of a video that analyzes the camera angle and cinematography that the film uses to showcase upward mobility.
And the following sequence follows his journey upward, leaving behind the sights and the sounds of the low-income neighborhood at the bottom, all the way up until he reaches paradise. He works his way to the uppermost level of the house, the peak of the mountain, and successfully completes his infiltration of the Park family. As we follow him downward on his way out of the house, at the exact moment he gets the idea to involve his sister, the camera swings down before cutting to a reverse shot right when he says her name.
제시카.
And once past the barrier between their secluded paradise and the world outside, moving downward, away from the light, the parasite is able to infect its host.
만나보시겠어요? 근데 이 친구 약속 잡기 되게 어렵다던데.
Ki-jung's infiltration follows the same visual patterns, upward towards the light, climbing to the top and finding her host in Desong, and eventually moving downward into darkness to bring in the next parasite.
The Scholar Stone is given to the Kim family as a gift and is a symbol of wealth. It represents Ki-woo's dream of climbing out of poverty. Arguably, this rock was what led to Ki-woo's friend referring him about the tutoring job in the first place. Temporarily, this rock does bring wealth. Later in the movie, when they come back home to their basement home flooded and have to leave, Ki-woo finds the rock floating in their flooded home and chooses that to bring with him. The floating rock symbolizes that despite all the chaos at the Park home before the flooding, his dream is still alive. Ki-woo taking that rock and holding on to it as he slept in the shelter represented his hopes for reaching that dream. This scene of the storm and the flooding of their house was important because it served as a reminder to the Kims of their social class. At the end of the day, this was their basement home that they had to return to no matter how hard they pretended to be of higher class at work at the Park's home. The flood came at a climactic point of the film, washing away not only their home but also their dreams. Coming home to a flood, and the rock also represents the empty promises of upward social mobility in a capitalistic society. Still, Ki-woo holds on to the rock in an attempt to hold on to his dream that he will be rich one day like the Parks. There are many symbols and themes in this movie revolving around the idea of class differences in a capitalistic society. A question that is often debated after the movie ends is, who are the real parasites of the film? On the surface level, it can be argued that it is the poor Kim family who are just trying to survive and make a living, no matter how unethically they do it. However, if you look deeper, you'll notice the Parks rely on the Kims just as much in their daily lives. In a way, both families use each other. I think what is interesting is that the old housekeeper, who is hiding her husband in the basement of the Parks' home, are also considered parasites. So the conflict that occurs when the Kims find them is like a battle between the parasites for who can stay in the Park's home. The constant reminders that the Kim family gets of their social class, like their smell and the flooding their home, proves how upward mobility in a capitalistic society is like an empty promise. This, I think, was the biggest message that Bong Joon-ho wanted to get across in the film. Thank you.